So I feel awkward. Can you resonate with that? I have started this many times. Not this video, but like this whole thing many times. And I feel like every single time I blow everything super far out of proportion. Like literally every single time I do anything, I have this like tendency to make it like super big, super huge, perfect. Like it must be perfect. I'm gonna sit here. Oh, that feels better. And I just don't want to do that anymore. Like I don't. Okay, let me back up a little bit. What you should expect from this video, if this channel, honestly, is like not anything specific, because I have the tendency to like blow everything into like a big proportion, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to try to make everything like this. Here's what happened. Over the past 5 years, I have made content. A lot of it I've written, because videos are hard to keep up with, because they take a lot of time to figure out what you want to say and then actually say it, and then not feel like what you're saying is really a jumbled mess. And like you can see proof of that already in this first 1 minute and 34 seconds that I like will have to resist the urge to edit this, because I don't have the personality for that. Like I don't have the potential to really get that done on a long-term basis. Like, could I edit one video? Yes. Can I continue to show up if I have to spend 10 hours editing a video? No, I cannot do that. So anyway, the whole thing that I'm trying to say is I realized that the biggest problem is that my favorite thing about astrology is the process unfolding and watching the process unfold. But in order for me to help somebody with that, I feel like I inherently needed to post that early, but that means that I don't get to see the process unfold before I talk about it. And that's annoying, because obviously I can talk about like the parts that are leading up to this, but it can't just be like, oh, that was the thing. And then it's like, I don't ever really get to share that unless I'm writing a reflective, which is what I did with my email list. But again, that exploded into like this big production all the time. Like it literally took me like 16 hours to make just like a monthly reflective / forecast email for my group of people that I had. And I really enjoyed them being done. Like the process was a lot though. And now I'm sitting here looking at Scorpio New Moon 2025 and looking back at like what was going on during the Scorpio Full Moon. I should look back also. Again, these videos are never going to be edited, so if you're the type that's like wants everything to be super fast and like there's not any of me thinking about something and like diving into it right now, that this video will be a little bit harder for you to watch. So I use this thing called 750 words. It's like a stream of consciousness journal. Oh, I can't even look at that because I haven't been using it long enough. That's crazy, actually, because I have been doing this for like 270 days or something, which is not a year. So I haven't been, like, I don't have the ability to go back that far. So I don't actually know what I was doing during the Scorpio. Let's see what the Scorpio New Moon date was last year. Scorpio New Moon 2024 was November 1st. So I had just basically, Halloween basically, I was already planning on moving to the East Coast. We were living in the Midwest then. And I had probably just a couple weeks before that talked with my mom about actually moving. So my biggest plans then were still to keep serving and build my consultation business just like I was doing. Before this, I was actually working on my education though. I was going to Kepler the summer before that. So, well, I mean, I'm still working on that, but that was the biggest thing, was the summer before this Scorpio New Moon last year, I was working on my education a lot with Kepler, and then I wasn't building my business at all. I was not working on marketing. I wasn't working on content. I wasn't doing anything like that. So then fast forward to the Scorpio Full Moon, which was on May 12th, I think. I had this like epiphany about my grand scheme of like my business and ways that I can kind of like take all the little things that I have wanted to do and like have been attractive to me over decades, honestly. And I was like, oh, I know what I can do. I know how I can put these together. And it felt like all of the things were kind of like congealing into this one thing. That was also like 1 month, well, not even, it was 2 weeks after my birthday, which means I started a new solar return cycle. And my solar return cycle this year has a Taurus new moon, because I'm Taurus sun. So I have a Taurus new moon. It was in the 12th house, so it was very much like a lot of things, I guess, are going to have to like end, you know, like I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of stuff, like kind of like, you know, unpacking the trunk, I think, in order to make room for like the stuff that has to like come with me on this road trip. And obviously that's a really long, I mean, it doesn't have to be a long cycle, but you know, this is my life, not like a way to rearrange my room. You know, like I'm not just changing my, you know, little tiny morning routine. Like this is my life's work. So I'm assuming, because that was really what was going on at the time of the Scorpio full moon, which again was right after my birthday. So now we're coming to the Scorpio new moon. It's in my 11th house. It's across from Uranus, which is in my 5th house right now. Uranus has been in my 5th house forever. It was really a lot about, I don't know, like when Uranus was on top of my IC and my sun, I really just wanted to like run away and like start my life over. My husband and I wanted to like move into a bus and run away. It was like when van life was really popular. And so we wanted to like just run away from everything and like start over. We couldn't because he had a daughter and we needed to be there for her, and she was very important to us. So that was never going to happen. But that was like the draw. It was like, I want to get away. I want to get away. I don't want to do this anymore. And so that was a really big theme. And I can't say, like, I will say since it has like vacated my first like 10 degrees of Taurus, it's been a lot easier and calmer. But I do have grand fixed cross, and so it's still kind of interacting with some of the like Pluto, for example, is at 19 degrees, and so it's a little closer to that, but again, not anything super personal. And so I felt a lot calmer with Uranus being further away from my sun and everything. But it being involved in this new moon, I mean, plus Mercury Retrograde, it's definitely, my mind is cycling back, you know, and it's like, what was going on then? You know, I was thinking about my grand scheme of like what my business is gonna potentially unfold into, like what's actually supportive for me, not like what are the strategies that other people are doing that I could adopt to try to do my own thing. Like if I was to be told that money were no object and I could do anything I wanted with my time, there are certain things that I thought I should do that would not be on that list. And I'm not saying that you can just skip things and that you shouldn't, you know, have to put in certain efforts in order for things to like come to fruition. It's not about that. It's just knowing what aspects of this business should be built into it. You know, like when I was a photographer, this was like 2016 is when I started my business as a photographer. And then by 2021, I had closed it. So it was not a short time, but not that long either. And so there were points where I was building that business, and I was, if you've ever heard of Molly Kaiser, she has her own YouTube channel. Back in the day, she was not on YouTube so much as she was on Facebook. And she was a photography coach and mentor, and I was following her strategies and stuff. And she had this worksheet that I filled out, and it was like, you know, I don't even really know what the question was, but it somehow got me to the understanding that if I was building a business that was in some way, shape, or form not what I wanted, then why even bother doing it? So the way that translated was I had wanted to move into a bus. I wanted to have a location independent business. I didn't want to be forced to be in the same room. Well, not even specifically. At that time, I was willing to be in the same room as someone else. Like that part was fine. But I knew that I was not trying to build a business that was local specifically. Like I wasn't trying to only work with the people that were in my immediate surrounding area. And so I wanted to build a business that was going to be able to travel with me. So whether or not that was targeting people who were in some other place or, whatever, either way, I just knew when I was doing that questionnaire, it didn't make any sense for me to try to build a local business because that wasn't what I wanted. Annoyingly, my trade was photography and I had to be in the same place as someone, but at least I wasn't like stuck on the fact that I was going to have to do, like local marketing only. All that to say, I agree that you have to do things sometimes that aren't super fun, that you wouldn't want to do forever. And like, it's okay to have the expectation that you might outsource something in the future. But if you wouldn't outsource it for the greater good of your business, or you couldn't outsource it, then it might be worth thinking about whether or not you should build it into your business at all. And so I really was confronting a lot of that, like what does this business look like when it's successful in however many months, years, decades? What is the actual process of service out, revenue in? What does that look like? What is that hamster wheel? Because business is a hamster wheel. Which one do you want to run on? And just because you can hypothetically do your hamster wheel from a beach doesn't mean that you're inherently fulfilled. So that's kind of what I've been working through with this Scorpio New Moon, and having it in the 11th house. There's a lot about who am I talking to? Like, who are you? Who are you that I'm talking to? Who is it that I'm writing to? I just got a notification the other day that I've got 50 subscribers on YouTube. Well, hey, how you doing? Like, if I had 50 people in my bedroom right now, we wouldn't even be able to stand. Like, this room is not that big. 50 people in my house even is too many, like, I'm trying to think. We had 70 people at our wedding. Like, that's not a big wedding, but like, this doesn't fit in a house, really. So there's a lot of you here. Some of you care more than others. Some of you will watch this and some of you will be like, I don't even remember who this person is, and I'm rambling, but the point is like, who are the people that I'm talking to and how am I reaching them? And even if I figure out what the value that I know what I want to offer in this business, I just don't exactly know how to communicate to somebody what the value is that they can have going like from here at 0, like going from 0 to 60, like that's the vision that I have is so much larger than something I know how to put on just like by myself with no one who knows who, like, what I'm saying? Like, nobody to outsource anything to, no desire even really to do that yet. But I'm just saying, like, my Scorpio New Moon story that's coming up is like, who am I talking to and how am I reaching them? And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I would love for you to share with me what's going on with your Scorpio New Moon. If you have no idea how to tell, or if you don't know anything about astrology at all, I have a few resources on my website. I'll leave that in the description. There's all kinds of stuff on my blog. If you are a beginner, then you can easily find that by going to the beginner posts. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. I look forward to talking to you soon. Later.